Coming up on today's Alabama football report, we're looking at 6 players that Alabama is trying to land, 3 in the portal, 3 on the recruiting trail, as of course those are the 2 biggest college football playoff storylines right now around the Crimson Tide. Will they get all of them? Probably not, but there are some notable names we'll discuss on today's show. If additional recruiting or transfer news happens, we will have you covered. Gotta figure Bama's going to get somebody in the portal, if not somebody's in the portal. So make sure you are subscribed for more free Alabama football YouTube videos. We begin with the recruiting side with early National Signing Day rapidly approaching. First up on the target list is Favour Edwin, a fun name for an offensive lineman. He's a 3-star offensive line recruit in this current cycle, the class of 2024. Number 7 at 95 overall in the composite. The 59th ranked offensive tackle, and the number 92 player from the state of Georgia. What's interesting here is we have some big discrepancies between the 2 major outlets out there in terms of like On3's recruiting prediction machine, the 24/7 Sports Crystal Ball, what the Alabama insiders on On3 are saying. So there's some difference, which could just be meaning that there's change coming down the pipeline here. Auburn, even as of 2 days ago, 3 days ago, somewhere in that range, was kind of viewed as the favorite to land Edwin. 75.7% in the On3 recruiting prediction machine, 21.9 for Bama, and Florida exists as well, which also kind of describes their football program at the current stage. Andrew Bone, however, reporting this. I'll also make note that 24/7 Sports now favors Alabama in the Edwin race. Get it? Good. Andrew saying, quote, "We believe Alabama is trending for offensive lineman Favour Edwin. Nick Saban and Eric Wolford will visit Edwin on Wednesday. A decision may happen in the next few days." Also worth mentioning, Edwin tweeted this out yesterday morning. That's Tuesday morning with just the hourglass emoji. I think kind of indicates, time ticking down, decision coming here in the not-too-distant future. Adding offensive linemen, always a good thing because there is a constant dearth of reliable ones in college football. So prediction time for today's pinned comments of the video. Predict Alabama's final recruiting class ranking for me. We'll do the 24/7 Sports composite rankings to keep it simple there. Is it going to be 1, 2, 3, 4? Sound off for me in the comment section at the pinned comment, especially if the ad comes here on YouTube. The current Alabama offensive line class looks like this. There's Casey Poe, the 4-star interior offensive lineman. Joseph Ionata and William Sanders, also both listed as interior guys. Edwin would be a tackle. You do benefit by having Caden Proctor, in the fold for, in theory, 2 more years. I don't think he'd stay all 4 if things continue on the upward path he's been on. So adding an outside guy does make a lot of sense for the Crimson Tide. As we'll get into later on, wouldn't rule out a transfer target as well. But first, some more recruiting buzz. Elijah Griffin, who's a 5-star defensive lineman, actually in the class of 2025, taking a visit here for Alabama. The number 2 overall player, the number 1 player from the state of Georgia, top-ranked defense lineman. As of right now, obviously there's an entire year and cycle to go. There probably will be some adjustment there. But Griffin met with Joe Cox on Tuesday. It's a clear priority target because teams are smart. Alabama's smart. They do some advanced work even at this time of the calendar for the 2024 class being so important. I am sure we will check in on Griffin in future videos. Finally, there is 5-star wide receiver / athlete Ryan Williams, who Auburn fans continue to believe, hope, get a little high on Hopia maybe, that Williams is going to flip out to Auburn. Despite Williams saying he's locked in, they had said, the announcement that's coming is going to flip to Auburn. Well, the announcement was actually that he is enrolling early. But here's what Williams said on his Bama commitment and some visits that are going to happen. I will have some set soon. I know they will all be in January. I've been talking with Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Texas. I'm pretty sure I'll get to all of them, honestly. I'm locked in and still 100% with the Tide, especially with my 2024 guys. They've been my guys for a while, and I'm excited to play with them. I think maybe the Auburn fan site might cut out the second half from that perspective of the quote. I'll also make note, you get free visits to cool schools. Who wouldn't want to go? Now, today's show is made possible by Prize Picks, the largest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform out there. You just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch your winnings roll in. You don't have to battle thousands of players and pros and sharks and hope to get the top 2% or whatever to come out on top. It's much easier. I've hit 8 of my last 10 NFL picks. Well, we've got some fun college football games coming down the pipeline. So here are my CFP semifinal picks between Bama and Michigan. More than Jalen Milroe passing yards. I know it's a great Michigan defense. It's only 205.5. I think you can get there. I do think Roman Wilson might hit a big chunk play, so I'm going to take the more than 39.5. The Michigan wide receiver, I think, is really good. And Jalen Milroe, more than 32.5 yards on the ground. They've gotten going that area as of late. Plus, it's fun to pick more than on Jalen Milroe as of late. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Link will be in the comment section and the description. Again, it's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for that first deposit match up to $100. Look, back to this whole Auburn, Ryan Williams thing. Auburn did get Perry Thompson to flip from Bama, and that is a big feather in the cap of Hugh Freeze. They also flipped from Texas A&M, number 2 wide receiver Cam Coleman. I would argue that flipping both of those guys means you probably don't also need to flip Ryan Williams. I'd be pretty shocked if he did flip. His public comments are pretty clear on that front there. He's been consistent with Alabama. I would be concerningly surprised, how about that, if Bama ended up losing him, since they are in the market for some more wide receiver help. But this is democracy. This is America. We will give you guys the chance to vote, plus the occasional Auburn fan who hate watches here. Will Auburn flip Ryan Williams? Y for yes, N for no. Sound off in the comments section. Over now to the portal. Praise portal, if you will. Top transfer portal options. Really intriguing name here that maybe you don't know is UTSA edge Trey Moore. Excuse me. I got it going back there. Bama visited with the UTSA edge rusher on Tuesday. As of now, have not extended the offer. Texas has been fairly heavily speculatively linked from that perspective. I like what Moore offers. I was very impressed by his game, his play the past couple of years, especially this past season. In his career, 35.5 TFLs, 22 sacks, got 9 pass breakups in there, 101 tackles. When you're approaching the sack per game and more than a TFL per game production, that's really good. Now, obviously, much lesser level of competition, but I think this is a player with a lot of talent, a lot of ability. Given the fact that you're going to lose Dallas Turner, you're going to lose Chris Braswell, adding a short-term vet, I think makes a lot of sense for the Crimson Tide. I'm sure you guys have been closely following the portal, since it's always fun and entertaining with college football free agency. Name a player who you would like to get in the transfer portal this year right now in the comments section. The number 2 transfer portal option is LT Overton, the defensive tackle out of Texas A&M, who we had mentioned on a previous video here on the channel. Some more updates and mostly positive things coming on that front. Overton will visit Alabama this weekend. Remember, you're losing some key pieces, James Smith, Justin Aboijbe as well. So you're looking to maybe add some talent there, add some impact. And Overton is a player that had plenty of talent coming out, right? Or at high school, I should say. 5-star recruit back in the class of 2022, 14th overall player, number 4 defense lineman, 3 player from the state of Georgia. Did not, like so many of those Aggie boys, live up to expectations. Certainly is important to consider that. But again, you're losing Justin Aboijbe. You're losing Tim Smith. Adding depth, especially former top 15 overall recruit depth, is a good thing. And I certainly trust Alabama to maximize a potentially untapped player's talent a heck of a lot more than I do those Jimbo Fisher boys down at A&M. Finally, an offensive lineman. Very intriguing name here. That is Kaden Green of Oklahoma. He was the number 10 offensive tackle in the class of 2023. He did play some, by the way, for the season. And that matters because you don't find that many experienced offensive linemen in the portal. Those guys either stay or they end up going pro, kind of like Tyler Smith did when Matt Bama taken from Tulsa ends up being a first-round pick and having great NFL success. Green this year, just under 600 snaps, 0 sacks allowed, 1 hit, 13 hurries. The run blocking grade was not particularly great, but it is still noteworthy from that perspective. Green played his first game at left tackle for Alabama, for Oklahoma, then switched over to left guard. You're going to lose J.C. Latham. He's off to the NFL. Will be a first-round pick once the college football playoff is all over. You would think that Pritchett is the logical next man up, but you start getting a little bit thin, and Pritchett wasn't that great this past season, especially more so in pass protection. Now, again, part of the whole conversation around the offensive line was that when they got beat, it often resulted in a sack. 4 pressures overall isn't that bad of a ratio in 100 snaps. It's actually pretty decent, but 3 of them went for sacks. And you can't get beat as quickly as Pritchett did at times. You could also see some shuffling since Green could potentially play some offensive guard for you. Maybe you try Jaden Roberts at right tackle. He certainly has the physical frame and size to hold over there on the right side. You could try Green at right tackle if you land him. Let those 3 guys kind of compete for 2 spots on the right side or whatever. You have options from that perspective. And if you can find talented offensive linemen in the portal, go get them. It's tough to find those dudes available. So should Bama go after Kaden Green in the transfer portal? A for yes or B for no?